Hello and welcome. In this video, I want to introduce you to a new service in Canvas called DocViewer. This is replacing an older service, so I want to make sure you understand how it looks similar and both different from previous versions. So I have a few examples of an Excel, PowerPoint, and Word doc, which we're actually going to do live. So let me show you some past annotations that were done and work from there. So still go to Speed Grader. And since some annotations were done, we're just going to actually be reviewing them here. So the first thing that you see is some highlights, and that is the highlight annotation, which is right here. Now, it is only in yellow with this version. In other versions, there was the option for a few different colors. So one thing of note, you will also see this is called the area annotation. There we go. This is the strike through annotation, and that's right here. And you will also see the point annotation. Now let's talk about that a little bit. That's where you can write text. Something that you will also see are a few different things. These boxes, the dotted lines. When you have them, it's referring to who is making the comment. So I've made one, another instructor has made one. So it always will define who is making the comment and where. Now this was my comment at an annotation, which was the area annotation. This particular comment was written at the point annotation. So you have a few options. In my experience, I see some strike through, some point, and some area. I see less in the way of highlights and certainly less in the way of freeform. Another thing that there is also, which is the free draw annotation. And to maintain your respect, I'm not even going to bother on that. But it is something that I'm going to show you as we get into the next assignment, which is a PowerPoint one. So this is an Excel. And I think that's what I want you to see, is the fact that this doesn't look a whole lot like an Excel. This looks more like a Word doc, but it is an Excel. So bear in mind that it's not going to look exactly like the Excels that you're familiar with. And it's going to show it in a portrait type of orientation. So keep this in mind as you're reviewing it for any errors within the student formulas and things of that nature. So just keep in mind it's there, but this is what an Excel looks like. Okay. So let's move on to a PowerPoint. So I'm going to go back to the gradebook. I'm going to go to our next, which is the PowerPoint. Once again, I go down to Speed Grader, and there are some annotations here as well. So we have a point annotation, great title. Now this is going to be the area. Okay, so here we have the area highlighted. And here we have the freeform. Now here's the note. It actually ends the annotation as soon as you release the click, so you can't do more than one letter. So once again, it probably is not one I would overtly recommend, but it certainly does exist. Okay, so there's some options. So you say, well, that's great, I've seen it now. Let me see it in action. Let's do that. So I'm going to go back to the gradebook. I'm going to go to this assignment we're going to play with. So this is actually a syllabus for one of our courses, but let's just talk about the things that we can do. So it's already at this selection. Well, that's not going to help us. What we need to do is think about what annotation we want to do. So let's just click on each one individually. So point. So I'm going to come right here, and this isn't going to be pretty high tech. This is just going to be good. Okay. So that's great. So now what's the next annotation I want to do? Well, let me highlight. So I'm going to click on highlight, and then I'm going to click what I want to highlight. And that's just a simple drag and drop. So drag and drop on the highlight, pretty easy. Okay, what's the next highlight that I want to do? Strike through. Great. So let's strike through these credits. Once again, drag, drop. Hover over the area where you want to start or stop and just drag through that space. Well, I said I didn't want to embarrass myself, but I think in the interest of learning, let me go ahead and actually create just something simple using the freeform. All right, so we did that. So there's our free form. Good thing is you can always leave comments with all of the annotations. So regardless of what type of annotation, whether it's the area point or any of the others, you always have that ability, even on the strike throughs, to leave a comment. And finally, let's just move on to the last annotation, which is the area annotation. So here's a paragraph. So you can imagine this going into use where someone, is doing their introductory paragraph and there's some comment you want to make. So now you have that ability. Once again, you have that ability to leave an extensive comment for feedback so that the students can make these corrections on subsequent papers. If you decide, this is not really relevant, so let's say test here. Okay, let me actually go ahead and say this isn't really relevant. Let me get rid of that. Are you sure you want to delete it? Yes. And that really holds true with everything. So we can always delete our annotations. And that's good because that line was not helping us at all. So once again, you click on it, go to that annotation, and you hit that trash can, and that deletes it. Okay, so I hope that really helps you with understanding how this differs from previous tools, but yet still gives you all those great functionalities that you would want to offer the comments and feedbacks that our students need so much. Thank you again for your time. Have a great day.